Stomp films, bitches. Womp 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 stomp films.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Friday night, and so you know what that means? That means it's time for the Ghost Files, except for last week, because I took last week off because I worked too late. That's just how it's going to roll around here sometimes, but I hope you don't mind if you are stepping into the chat. Thank you for tuning in this week. I'm here with some special friends. I've got a little Godzilla and Yabang. A couple other things we're going to be giving away tonight. Not necessarily going to be giving away this guy tonight. No, we're there. But we do have a raffle tonight for those of you who helped the Never Hike Alone 2 Indiegogo finish with a very successful conclusion. We were able to raise a nice sum of money at the end to help with some of the perks that are going to be going out in a couple months, which we're working on tonight. Which, if any backers are in the stream tonight, feel free to ask questions. If you have orders, things like that, we'll talk about that in a little bit. Let me see. Let me get my little, there it is, right up there, making this thing look official. Wow, check that out. Comments are blast. Let's see who's in the comments tonight. Freddie Darkdolls was the first one in tonight, in early too, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Dirty, you've been waiting around a long time. Sorry, buddy. But welcome to the stream. Gap After Dark, love your little icon there, little cat. That's cute there. Davey Deathray, how you doing, man? Coming all the way from the westish coast out there in Arizona. Hope you and the lady are doing well in your podcasts. Cheesy Corn Pop, what's up? Gregory Peck, good friend of mine. Gregory, good to see you, buddy. Let's see. Undead One, of course, here every week, helping moderate the chat. Thank you so much. Allie, good to see you. Thank you for spreading the word tonight. Let me see who else is here. Danny Gaming 573. Janine, 13 Gallows Lane. Oh, we have Joe Gallo in the chat tonight. Early. Joe's up to it. His legs must be feeling good. Bashzilla. Wow, gee, wow, look at everybody tuning in. Oh, Moy's in the chat. Dave. Stuck at work, so we can't join live. How does one participate in the raffle? Dave, you would have had to have shared something last week. Tonight is going to be about those of you who were able to share some of our ads last week and help us generate just a little bit more buzz for people to pre-order their Never Hike Alone Blu-rays. Now, we know the Indiegogo ended, but if there is anyone who did sort of miss the boat or anything like that, you can always email us at wompstompfilms@gmail.com. We we have a waiting list, and there's also, there's a handful that always get made extra. So we try to keep a waiting list, or you can pre-order one now. We're probably going to do another 50 copies that way at first, and then from there, we're going to transition to a waiting list. So just quietly kind of throwing that out there. Anybody who, wants to get on the list, we know some people, the timing doesn't always work out. But this is going to be, just a relaxing Ghost Files tonight. No huge agenda other than doing the raffle. And we're going to get to the raffle in a little bit. I worked really hard, I guess, from the time that I had to find a little raffle thing. It was called, hold on, I got to pull it back up because you can't say it a lot. You can't say it fast. Name Picker Ninja. Say that 5 times fast and try to keep your job. So anyway, how's everybody doing this week? Everybody having good? I got my Godzilla Kong Cup from seeing it a second time in IMAX with Morgan last week, which was a lot of fun. Was able to catch some things on the second time around, as you do in films when you get to see it a second time. All that. I got Rick with me here. My thought was we weren't able to sell Rick on the campaign, but I want to make it out there that we're taking bids on the guy. The last thing that we had on Indiegogo was about 500, but best offers, wompstompfilms@gmail.com. I also have some stuff that I think I'm going to give away. I have a couple of cassette tapes that I found out in the garage that were left over from our soundtrack sales. This is the Never Hike Alone 1 soundtrack on cassette tape, which I guess the kids really find cool these days. One of them is a red tape. The other one is a white tape. Manhattan, New England. Hey, pick your clam chowder. It's up to you. But I don't know. We might do giveaways for people that, I don't know. I might just, super chats, things like that. Let's say that. Let's just say the first super chat over $5 takes home one of these guys. Whoever's going to do that, you can ask a question or do you want to do throughout the end of the night. I'm going to dive into some of the stuff that's kind of going here. Yes, Joe Gallo, you are a backer. I see you. Oh, yeah, let's talk about the game Resurrect, we actually had a big week this week, didn't we? Friday the 13th fans. One of our fellow fan brethren was taken down by a cease and desist. I think you saw Friday the 13th Resurrection, Friday the 13th, the complete edition. These were fans that were basically remodeling the gun Friday the 13th video game from years past, in which we all poured a ton of money into Kickstarter and then watched the game flourish and had a lot of fun playing it, only to have it snatched away by the lawsuit, like so many other things from the Friday the 13th franchise since that time. And fans took it upon themselves to dive into the game, figure out the mechanics, work with each other around the world, and build a replica game. And I don't know, if you ask me, that's nice. You know what I mean? It's bringing people together. It's getting people jazzed about Friday the 13th. We know stuff is coming. We know a new game is coming. We know a TV show is coming. We know films will come. But in the meantime, let the kids play. Let them play with your stuff. You're not using it. You know what I mean? And if you do come out with a game, there's no way this game is going to impede with something else that's coming out unless what you release isn't good. And that would be the problem. And that was my big issue with that, I think, was just that there was no need to pick on these kids. I think that the hype did kind of pour out. I think they, there were some things that were like, are you guys going to go to consoles? Like, we're open to it. We want to negotiate. And I think that sort of, excitement sort of worried some people, I guess. But it's a real shame that all that hard work had to get shut down. But I wish both teams the best. We were working with both of them. They had Ghost Jason models in both games. We're talking about just doing some artwork and building some stuff for Friday the 13th. Well, not Friday the 13th, but for Never Hike Alone, that might be fun with them. But we'll see what develops. They're going to work on their own stuff, some original games. I wish them the best. It's really it's just a real shame that's how it had to go down. I don't think it had to go down. That's not the best foot to get off with fans after not being able to deliver content since the remake in 2009, and then obviously killing the game in 2017. It's just a bad look. It's just a bad look. And I get it. IP has to be protected. A line has to be drawn somewhere at some point. I'm surprised they haven't come after us yet, honestly. Look at Undead One. First super chat getting this, jumping in. Hold on, I got to click on it, right? Boom. I got to be a better host. I got to be a better host. So there we go. That's kind of talking about. Let me see. Oh, congrats to Davey Deathray, 500 subs on his channel. If you guys haven't checked out, he did a great job. Actually, he did a wonderful job raising awareness for the Never Hike Alone 2 campaign and the closing of the Dylan's New Nightmare campaign, which I think is still going. I think it's still got life end of the month, right? So make sure you're heading over to Dylan's New Nightmare and grabbing some stuff from those perk, which congratulations to Dylan's New Nightmare. Winner of the iHorror.com short of the year. That is pretty rad. Congratulations to Cecil, to David, to Ron, to Cindy, to Ben, to Nora, to everyone on the team who just blew it out of the park. That team worked really, really hard. I'm really proud of them. I'm glad that the fans showed up. Thank you to the fans that did that. That's a really cool thing. Let me see. Never Hike Alone played Panic Fest this past weekend along with Bat Bomb's premiere, which I believe if you went to Panic Fest or if you have access to Panic Fest, there is voting that ends Sunday to vote Bat Bomb for the best short. So make sure you guys are doing that. What else is going on in my world? Next week, New Bedford Film Fest in New Bedford, Massachusetts, the 18th to the 20th. We're going to have a screening of Never Hike Alone on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Never Hike Alone 2, I'm sorry. And Never Hike Alone 2 at this festival was nominated for Best Actor, Tom Matthews, Best Actress, Anna Campbell, Best Ensemble Cast, Best Young Actor with Stevie Wilder, Young Horror Stevie is Tommy Jarvis, and Best Wardrobe for Stephen Boyd Morales. We'll also be making an appearance in Chicago, May 3rd through the 5th, or 4th through the 5th. Never Hike Alone is screening, I believe, 4 or 5 on Saturday. Or a little bit later than that on Saturday, where it was nominated for Best Horror Feature of the Year. So thank you, Chicago Horror Film Fest. That is a wonderful thing to be announced. I'll be a part of some fanels there with PJ Starks, who I worked with on the Face of Michael Myers project way long ago. So yeah, there's a lot going on here, and plus we're working on Never Hike Alone behind the scenes. I'm actually recording my interview on Sunday. And yeah, staying busy as always. Let's see. Let's jump into some more stuff here. But Davey, it's good to see you. He said he wants to battle damage ghost talk. Well, we'll talk to Jeremy at Horror Effects. Plus, we're going to be making some in house pretty soon as well. So keep an eye out for that. Anybody who has to email us if you want to make a bid on my old friend here, Ricky Cologne. Before you get this is the head smash prop from Never Hike Alone 2. You can hit us up. Let me see. Oh, well, look who's back. Blake's here. Do we have enough in the account for the super chat this week? Ronnie and Blake, you can have anything you want. I will let you into the vaults of Never Hike Alone and wompstompfilms, and you guys get to pick because you guys had me on as a guest last week, which was a lot of fun. Thank you guys for being there. Let me see. Chucky Spidey. In the future, will Tom Matthews be the protagonist in most of your movies? But what would you have Tom fighting in those movies? I think for Never Hike Alone, the Tommy story is done. I think Tommy has found his resolve. If Tommy was to ever come back, it would be in heroic like fashion, and then like in a surprise fashion. I think that's the only way it would ever work. But the other stories, that I have to tell, whether it be Never Hike Alone 3 following Hikerman 5000, whether it be The Ghost of Crystal Lake, the origin of Ghost Jason, Pamela's story, or what we're doing with Ghosts in the Fog. I would love to have Tom involved sometimes in voiceover, sometimes as maybe like a character, like kind of seeing where Tommy is in certain times. That'd be really, really fun. But most of these stories will be about other characters, sort of like how Never Hike Alone was, kind of going back to that formula and not trying to put an end so much to the Paramount plot, but actually build out the Never Hike Alone world would probably be the best way to say it. Yep, Ali, I agree with you. I hated it for those guys. It was no good. I hope the new Friday the 13th game with Harry Manfredini is handled much better. Yeah, well, it looks like, the rights aren't going to be fought over for a very long time now. Everything's kind of settled and how that's going to work. So, yeah, hopefully they just make a good game. And that's ultimately what it's going to come down to. And I hope they, leave lots of stuff open to bring in fan creations and really kind of expand it out and make it really interactive. I mean, kids love customizing things. They love having that ability, build your own custom Jason, things like that. I think that would be a lot of fun because I know we all love doing cosplay and doing the films Jasons, but I can tell you I've had a lot of joy kind of coming up with my own versions. I've seen a lot of original Jasons too. I think that would be a really cool thing that they could do in the game if they haven't thought of that already. Let me see. I'll never understand what's up with Sean. On the flip side, Malika Cod was a man of the people and the fans at age 45. He embraces it all and loves the franchise. It's rabid fans. Yeah, I think that was a very promising press conference that he gave. Seems that he's really into it. It's just going to be a matter of, again, like the people that are in charge of these franchises have a responsibility to a fan base to create content if that's what they're going to do. You know what I mean? If the creators or the owners of that want to keep making stuff, they got to make it worth it or else it runs dry. And in the case of Friday the 13th, the well is overflowing with the want and need for an official Friday the 13th. So I think that's why, the market gets flooded. It's not going to get oversaturated because, look at the success Godzilla's having on like many different streams, even like the good and the bad, like some of the Netflix animation stuff I didn't find great, but in the time we've had the Monsterverse, we've had the animations, we've had Shin Godzilla, -1, I mean, all of the Monsterverse, the TV show, all that stuff. And it's still growing. And, we're going to see other brands growing too, Alien, Predator. So, for fans of stuff with IP, and people who are like, oh, remakes and blah, 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 like, shut up. Like, listen, if there's anything humankind loves, it's a story. And it's a story that keeps going and we'll follow a good story. I mean, look at like all religions. You follow those stories till your graves. So, like, film stories are the things that captivate us and make us think about, you give us that, release from the world that we're actually going to let us think, and we connect with characters for whatever reason as it is. That is a lot of fun for people. And so when you're in charge of a franchise and when you're in charge of characters that mean a lot to people, it's really hard to deliver something that's going to please everybody. But if you listen to the fans and you kind of see what's really kind of there and trust your instincts about like what's going to work or what's not going to work, you can make it work. you can make it work. But we've seen plenty of times where it hasn't worked. Look at Rick back here, just like looking all like miserable. Come on, Rick, it's not that bad. You should see what they did to him on set. I hope I have some of the photos from behind the scenes. We'll put that in the documentary, that's for sure. Well, thank you for helping me fill that space, because I can't do it without the backers. I can't do it without my team. So thank you, everybody. What was this? Pliskins. Oh, no, that was actually just your name. I was like, that is the funniest name I've ever heard. Tell them just to make the Never Hike Alone game. I don't know. We talked about it. We talked about just making a game that was based on Never Hike Alone and having the 3D camp and just having our camp with our Jason stuff that Horror Inc. owns, and just see if we can get away with that. Maybe it's just a self-contained one-off, I don't know, map that you can play or whatever, but that might be fun. Hit those guys up if you think that's a good idea. Yo, Red Crow Films in the house. That is James Sweet, my guy. Working on some fun Friday the 13th content. He and Carl are. That is for sure. Our friends up north, Carl Productions, VFX supervisor and wizard, Carl Winery from the Jason Rising project. And this is James. How you guys doing? Let me see. Channel Change, what you up to? I know, disappointed because fan-created entertainment has kept Friday the 13th alive. You know, I think it's a love-hate relationship with Sean and the franchise. I don't want to speak, you know, I know I go hard on Twitter and X and all that stuff, but it's tough to kind of contextualize it. But, you know, I think that it's a conflicted thing for him. I don't think he loves Friday the 13th. I don't think he hates it, but I don't think he loves it. And that's why I'm excited about, you know, sort of the Crystal Lake stuff, is because we know Brian Fuller loves Friday the 13th. And in fact, I love the fact that Platinum Dunes and Shannon and Swift and all those guys loved Friday the 13th back then. And they wrote something that worked for a lot of fans back then. I have a feeling that the thing that I'm looking for from a Friday the 13th and the types of stories that I want to be told in the Friday the 13th world are now going to come from sort of this Crystal Lake TV show, because the long format of, like what I was saying before, like not just having a movie where it has to hit a formula and has to do some things, but where you're going to go into character development and grow these characters. I'm going to bask in this. This is going to be a lot of fun. You know, I see him posting a lot about Twin Peaks as well. So, I mean, if Twin Peaks meets Friday the 13th with Pamela Voorhees, I mean, come on. This is, with the creator of Hannibal, this is going to be a lot of fun. So, you know, I think fans should just be now thankful that, you know, a large portion of our entertainment is going to be coming from a place that loves it. Let's see what they do with the rest of it. I don't know how these, rights work out. Maybe I should invite Larry Zerner on one day to really figure out like who has what and who has to do what to get things made. And maybe that will answer a lot of things for fans, because I know the guys doing the game were like, we want to like buy the license, which probably would have been impossible. Maybe they could have crowdfunded for it. But it's kind of interesting that like those, what I'm assuming are either kids or, younger adults who put this game together in their free time. They did it out of the passion for it. Like, it's just tough to, they didn't even get paid for it. Let's see. Oh, wow. I'm missing a lot here. I'm going to just jump to the end. Thank you, Janine. Discs are going to be, we're working on discs right now. It's all kind of coming together. Let me see. Okay, here's another good question. Could we ever get a crossover? Wait a second. Oh my God, guys, I let you down. We were supposed to do a drawing at 10 minutes in. I said every 10 minutes. I didn't say it out loud, but I put it in the advertisement. We're getting close to it. So we're going to do a drawing in a second there. We're going to hold it there. There's a lot of comments here that I'm missing. Sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to scroll back through this in a little bit. LEB, what's up? I'm just gonna keep grabbing stuff. So here's the thing. Here's how we're a leg breaking type of mistake. It really is. I think the audience is gonna get a free crack at breaking my legs this week. I think when I get my system set up, we'll make that a theme on the show. Like, I'll just have like a little button that has like a sound that's like crack, crack. It'll be fun. We're gonna build this out. You know what I mean? So let's see. Let's go. We got to draw a name here. We're going to draw a name here. So, okay, that's set up. I want to make sure that when I present the right thing, because we're going big time tonight. Window, bam. So here we go. We're over here at the name picker, Ninja. And everyone is in here. Thank you, everybody. I've already put your names into the list. The list came from here. So here we go. the first name to win tonight is Ian Arborough. All right. Look, let's go to Ian. Where's Ian? Ian wins. Boom. Green. There we go. And we are back to here. There it is. Ian is our first. Congratulations, Ian. Everybody give him a round of applause. Ian, I will be emailing you at some point in the next couple of weeks with instructions on how you will pick out from the lot. Basically, I didn't really explain this before, but there was just a pile of props left over from Never Hike Alone 2. We have associate producers and certain people who bought into some of those screen used props. There's a list that is generated with those names. They're one at a time. They're going to be able to go through the props, pick the list. Your name's going to be added to that list just for helping out at the end. You're not going to get first pick at the best things that we have, but let me tell you, we got a deep well. Okay. I don't care how deep you go on this list. You're going to have some fun things to pick from. We got a lot of different things that are really, really interesting, and you're going to get it just for sharing a link. So thank you. Thank you so much. We'll do another drawing in about 10 minutes, or maybe should we do, you know what? Since I screwed you guys over, we're going to do a second drawing right now because that's how it goes. We got to make up for this. So let's go back to the present. We're going back to name, picker, ninja. Boom, share. Here we go. All right, Ian is removed from the list, and we will go again. Oh, there they go. There they scroll. If you see your name, not a good thing. Alexander Tristram. Hey, Alexander. Thank you so much. And just so you know, Alexandre is the director over at the Balloon Horror Show in France, and they have hosted Never Hike Alone basically every year that we've released something. So thank you, Alexandre, and thank you for sharing the link. We'll definitely be able to add you to the list and get you some fun prizes. So there we go. We have our two winners for Ian and Alexandre to start off the night. We're catching back up. I got all sidetracked with, other fans getting sued over nonsense and all that fun stuff. So anyway, I've caught up in the chat. And, we still have 3 names left to pick. So don't worry. At minute 30, Joe Gallo remind me, or Undead remind me, and we'll make sure that we pick another name in 30 minutes. I also want to say this. I do have to pull one name from the list. Craig Deere. Or Dare, I don't know exactly how it is, but he was my secret contest winner. He was the first person to share something. So Craig will be added to the list as well. We're actually adding 6 people to that list tonight. Going there. Now I saw Undead do the super chat before, which thank you so much for doing that, Undead. But we remember the first 2 super chats, I think from, Undead, I'm going to hook you up no matter what. But for the chat tonight, the first 2 normies who are moderators who do super chats, you're taking home one of these soundtracks on cassette tape, and they're great collector's items. And they look great on a shelf. Or you can take home my Godzilla versus Kong cup, maybe. I actually have this beautiful Godzilla versus Kong cup poster from the previous movie in my garage, which I should probably raffle off another weekend and just start giving away some of the stuff from my private collection, because I have all these great posters that I have nowhere to go with. I got to give them to people that are going to take care of them and hang it up in their horror halls. I think that would be a great way to do some stuff. Let's see. I'm all caught up on things. If you asked a question before and I did not answer it, you are better off asking it again right now instead of me scrolling back up. I think that would be the best way to kind of handle it. But yeah, I know, we had a lot of updates, you know what I mean? There's a lot going on here. I always forget how much I have going on because I'm always kind of focused on one thing at a time, but to lay it all out like that makes me realize that I'm a busy guy. Let me see. Little update on Indiegogo while I got you guys here waiting for a good question. But yeah, just working away on the Blu-ray. There's just different parts that need to be built out. Working on the menus. We got a new template that we have to kind of adjust everything to. So I'm putting, all the artwork together and making sure that's all lining up perfectly, dotting the T's and crossing, or dotting the I's and crossing the T's and all that fun stuff. I'm working on transferring over everyone's name to our backer list. In fact, part of what you were looking at over on another screen. In fact, I'll show it to you. Let's show you a little work in progress. How about that? We'll show and tell tonight. What other what other Indiegogo does this for you? So see this? This is everybody there. Let me not, here, I'm going to hide this. So that way we're not, information. But anyway, as you can see here, everything that we're working on sort of with the shipping is here. I don't want to bring anybody's sort of information up, but as you can see, these tabs right here, we're building out our shipping lists. And so if you're on the shipping list, what's going to happen there is that if you're on that shipping list, we've consolidated your order, everything that you've ordered, because a lot of people order multiple things. And one of the things I've noticed while doing Indiegogo is it takes time to sort of pick a name out of the, pick the next person up on the list, research their name, figure out everything they have, go through all their orders and put it all together in one. It can get a little confusing. So I'm getting ahead of the curve this time. So we have everything in Google Sheets. And I'm going to be going through person by person. We're organizing the orders by sort of different types of items that are going together. So those of you who just ordered a Blu-ray, you're going to be putting your own list that's going to ship very, very fast. People who did camper packs, we're going to put you in your own kind of column where we can go and build your camper packs, because it's a little bit more intricate. You got 2 pins, you got a shirt, you got a poster. We got to fit it all in one thing and make sure nothing breaks on its way to you. And it's easier to kind of package up the different types of orders versus just going in a single order. So we're putting everybody sort of in order of the way they backed based on the perk that they got, and then broken down by domestic, international shipping by country, which there were 47 different countries that backed Never Hike Alone 2. So we're going to have some wild shipping charges, which are not going to be fun. And that's why we really needed that help and push at the end, was to cover a lot of the fees that are going to come up with, putting in our Blu-ray orders, all that stuff. Like I said last week, we have red cases, we have black cases. We have some fun stuff that we're going to do. So we're getting there. So let me see. 27 minutes. We're getting close. Close. Joe wants the Monsterverse posters. Let me see. You have to win it next week. Oh, here's what it is. Could Never Hike Alone and Dylan's New Nightmare crossover in the future? Yeah, we've talked about it. I think that it comes down to the energy of everyone involved, to see how many, how the resources would come together, when we would shoot it. I think everyone is very busy on their own projects right now. I know Dave's wrapping up, It's Me, Billy too. Cecil's got some ideas that he's kind of playing around with, and other things with Dylan's New Nightmare World. But I mean, he's obviously super interested. I know Dave would kill to play Freddy again, or the Entity again in Dylan's 2, and a Freddy versus Jason, with Ghost Jason being there. We talked about some things on how to make it work. I think it would be its own offshoot sort of short. I think we'd keep it short to keep it sort of like the cost manageable. But yeah, it's possible. We've said that it's in the Womp Stomp verse, that they both exist in the same world. Why not? I mean, we're already in a supernatural kind of element, right? Let's see. Can't wait to get all the Blu-rays. I ordered Jarvis versus Jason at the end and added the entire collection. Thank you so much. That is huge. Thank you so much, Bashzilla. That's a good pull too, because you got the entire catalog plus the bonus version. You got almost every version we've ever released. We've released a lot of versions, Never Hike Alone. I'm sure a few of you out here have collected everything, so that's pretty cool. But this is a great package. What other horror movies are you planning? If it's a werewolf or vampire movie, what protagonist would make for Tom Matthews? And its other slasher trilogy, what hero would Tom Matthews be? I think it just depends. I mean, I got different, I know some roles that, Tom would play. We have this short called EMF, which is a ghost hunter story, where I really like Tom to be in the lead of that. We talked about last week on the show a project that he brought to my attention called Night of the Living Sex Dolls, which was a book that he read, which I fully love. I would love for him to play the sheriff. Werewolf story, I don't know if... I think there's a role probably in there somewhere, in a couple places, you know what I mean? Like there's different, I think that like in certain movies, I'd like to have people from that I've worked with kind of playing roles. Like I'd love to have Ron Sloan in, Deb Voorhees, and, Cindy and Vinny and everybody else who's worked with us sort of, Andrew, and just kind of work them in, even if it is sort of, supporting roles, side characters, or leads when it makes sense. And hey, Chuck Phelps, we'll get to that in a second, but yeah, I think, Tom's a very versatile actor. He can do a lot of things. Whoa, it looks like we got two back-to-back things. Loved NHA and Dylan's New Nightmare. Hope to see the versions of Freddy versus Ghost Jason. Second to last comment. Amazing. And Davey Deathray, Womp Stomp. Okay, so wait. Let's see. Loved NHA and Dylan's New Nightmare. Hope to see a version of Freddy's versus Ghost Jason. Okay, all right, cool. I just want to make sure I wasn't missing anything. Davey actually asked a question. Would Womp Stomp be interested in producing a Romero-style zombie project? If so, what would you need to see move forward? Asking for his brother who works in VFX. I mean, most like with anything, it comes down to my time. I'm obviously always open to give advice. I think that my first advice that I always give to anybody is try to create something with the resources that you have, so you can see where your base level is at. Where's your floor at? You know, if you're just pulling some stuff together, you got some ideas, put some ideas together and come up with some type of sizzle reel, as we like to say in the pitch room. Actually, I'm going to be at the New Bedford Film Festival. I'm going to be hosting a panel on creating short projects to help launch larger projects, or creating a sizzle piece to help explain what would happen, in a larger version of that story. Something like we did with Pathosis, which was a pared down version of a larger story that Austin does that way want to do. Never Hike Alone and Never Hike in the Snow were pared down versions of what connected to with Never Hike Alone 2, stuff like that. So not saying you have to go out and make a Never Hike Alone, but what would I want to see? Obviously a script. That's usually the first thing, a completed script. And then just, some good, what we usually do if we're pitching a project to a potential investor is we have a script. The director has a pitch deck, in which, you have your visuals. And obviously, if you got a brother in VFX that's really good at matte painting, he can probably put together some good visuals and just sort of paint a real scene to sort of there. And then, with your story, just make sure that there's character in it. It's not just mindless violence, that there's something driving the main character and there's something pulling them, and it's not, and as long as it has those things, we can get in there, massage the script and kind of work from there. So, hit me up sometime. And if you're looking for a director, I'm definitely looking for directing gigs. I have some stuff written, but for people who want to pull projects together and, want to work, I'm definitely open to directing and acting, all of the fun stuff. I'm really looking forward to getting back out there in the original world and starting to show a little bit more what I can do there. So thank you, Davey, and thank you, Chuck, both of you for that. That was super awesome. Yes, it would cross over well with Supernatural. What if you made a sequel to Rob Zombie's Halloween 2? I don't think I'm qualified to. I'd have to like really like it, right? I didn't really love it. That's my fault. I didn't silence my phone. But I probably wouldn't. Let me see. Have you seen an action movie called Blood Match with Tom Matthews? And what are your thoughts? Was Blood Match the one that took place in the prison? I think that might have been it. Tom's told me about all these movies he's been. Like, we got a chance to like talk when he would be on the road, and we'd always talk about some of the old movies. He did one in the prison. I think Ice-T was in it, which was really funny. And he just has some really good stories about it. But I have seen that one. I've seen the one in the prison. So yeah, let me see. Oh yeah, appreciate the advice. No, anytime. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to put together like anything too crazy, but I think just get some idea of where you would shoot it, locations. Okay, so that's a big thing. You're going to make a movie and you want to make an independent movie. The first thing you really got to figure out is a location, a place you can just take over and not have to worry about all the other things that come with, bigger productions of like renting space and building things and, having to ask for permission. I mean, a lot of the times you sort of need a place to play, especially when you're sort of getting started, or even when you just need that leadway because the money might not always be there. So you may be able to do a part of the production now and raise a little bit more and go back to it. It's something that needs to be, you need to be easily kind of able to go do that. Or it just kind of like, it also like makes your costs super low. So then you're able to put most of your budget into the people, which is the most important thing. I always find that like being able to, give your cast and your crew what they need to, make it worth their time to be there. Then that's really sort of like that's where you want to try to get as much of it going, because those are the actual people on set versus a service or a rental or insurance and stuff like that. Not that you don't want to get, you have to get insurance, but I'm saying like it's not fun paying for insurance. It's fun paying someone to do something cool on set. It's fun to pay a stunt actor to go jump off of a building. It's fun to watch a special effects person smash a head and do all of those things. It's not fun to pay for location fees and all those other things. So anytime you can kind of scrub out those costs away from, being able to empower your film with other talented filmmakers, I would say that that is a good place to start. Let me see. Entertainment Wizard needed to double check. Ordered both Blu-rays for Never Hike Alone 2 and that 8-inch figure. Yeah, the 8-inch figure is somewhere around here. I should have brought him up. Maybe the next one, next Ghost Files, I'll bring little short Ghosty. The entire movie, yeah, it was a nightmare for the audience. Does Ghost Season have any different lore from the original Friday the 13th Jason? No, I mean, here's the thing. Friday the 13th and Jason really doesn't have a set lore. They sort of had a couple of movies touch and go and create different things. Ghost Jason, to me, is what I believe when you take part 1 Jason plus part 2 Jason plus part 3 Jason all the way through part 8 and then put an equal sign, it's Ghost Jason. It is that sort of amalgamation of the Revenant idea, because at some point Jason did come back from the dead. So why would he all of a sudden gain that power halfway through the franchise? Why wouldn't he just have it ever since his death? And it made sense to me. Pamela dying, Jason taking on, the responsibility, the revenge, that just makes a lot of sense. I think it makes a lot of sense to other people. If Jason had survived, it opens up a lot of questions for me, things that need to, gaps that need to be filled in, which the franchise doesn't do a very good job of doing at all. It also doesn't make sense he's able to survive the types of attacks that he does. But, when you start putting that undead sort of Band-Aid on it, all of a sudden, yeah, it makes sense that if he got the machete in the shoulder and he got back up, that he's just a, mongoloid version of a child because he's an undead, killing machine. Like, that's why he looks that way. And that, obviously he changes shape and all these different things. But I always said he went through like this rapid aging process to where he aged out beyond his own death and then became a walking corpse. And that's sort of what we see, starting in final chapter, really coming to life in part 6, and then being the staple Jason that we all know. And Ghost Jason is a continuation of that Jason, the Jason that thought he was supposed to die twice, maybe multiple times than that, but he keeps going and he can't figure out why. So that's who sort of Ghost Jason is. When are you going to do the next live stream with Tom? I don't know. I'll have to have him back on. We'll have to see when I know he's been super busy traveling and all that stuff. So we'll have to see when he wants to come back. I'll definitely reach out, get that conversation going. Definitely do that. Never Trick or Treat Alone should be a sequel to the Halloween 1978. I actually wanted to do a Halloween fan film called Never Treat Alone. Or maybe we did do Never Trick or Treat Alone, or like Never Trick or Treat, or I don't know. We'll come up with something. But anyway, I have wanted to do that. Yeah, but I think we got a chance to do it. I think between Spirit of Haddonfield, between The Face of Michael Myers, between Happy Halloween, I've done 3 other people's Michael films. I've never really done my own, have I? And I have a really nice friggin' costume too. So maybe I have to put some thought into this. We'll have to put some thought into this. Maybe we can make something there. Dude, hey, guess what, guys? It's time for another drawing. And guess what? I did it again. I blew past 30 minutes. Nobody warned me. We're just going to do them 2 at a time. That's how we're going to do it. All right, here we go. Wait a second, because before I do that, I want to make sure I'm on the right page. Oop. Remove name from list. Okay. We got to share the screen. We're going to do another 2 back to back because I'm the worst host of all time. Bing bong. Here we go. All right, here we go. From name, picker, ninja. Next name, next winner. Let's see. Who could it be? Who could it be? And it is Jessie Flores. All right, Jessie. She was one of the last people on the list. Boop. She got there. We're going to remove Jessie, and we're going next one. This is going to be pick number 4. Flying through. And our winner is Davy Deathray. Hey, look at that. Davy Deathray walking away with steal tonight. Listen, if anyone is mad at the thing, don't get mad at that, or don't get mad at me. This is the best thing I could find that didn't allow me to didn't ask me to sign up for like 15 different things and give my information away. So yeah, so Dave, oh well, Dave, you win now. Congratulations. Congratulations, Jesse. Congratulations, Davey. We still have one more drawing tonight. We gave away both of these. Remember, wompstompfilms@gmail.com if you want to put a little offer on this guy, put him in your horror basement. He could be all yours. You just have to say the right price for me to part with him. And this is the Screen Used shirt too. Yeah, you know what I mean? Just smashing his head. You get glasses come and everything. I mean, look at, they're perfect. In fact, in the film, if you look close enough on on Vinny's glasses and Cologne's glasses, it says V Guastafaro, and we left that on purpose because it was like, your name in real life is the brand. So real quick, little goose egg, little Easter egg. Vincent Guastafaro is written on the side of Sheriff Cologne's glasses in Never Hike Alone 2. So definitely check that out. Let me see. Let's see. Hey, it's all right. No, I'm just looking at how long I've been live, and I got like a ticker here. It's like I should have it perfect. It's like 30, 40, but you're good. You're good. I'll break your legs. You keep talking like that. You're not that far of a drive away now, Joe. You're not across the country anymore. You're just like 14-hour drive. I've already calculated. Actually, I think it's 12. I think it's 12. So keep talking like that. You keep your eggs. Keep their eggs where they belong. What if you made Never Trick Alone and then made a crossover Freddy versus Jason Michael? Well, I think that the guy who's CJ, who does Chicago Horror Film Fest, is making something called The Evil 3, which is it's actually Jason Michael Leatherface. So that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, you will. You would. We actually do have to work on something. We got some stuff to work on. Let me see. Okay, here's the thing. Spidey with all the Tom questions tonight. This was a project called EMF. It was about a ghost hunter who basically breaks apart from his crew and starts trying to ghost hunt on his own. He does have a partner in crime that kind of goes with him to the scene, but is too scared to actually go into the buildings. And during the investigation that he is doing for this sort of episode that he's building for his channel, something goes horribly wrong. The film is based, it was actually written by Jeremy Brown and Mike Mead, who wrote Vengeance. Together, but Mike and Jeremy and I worked together on Imagine. Mike and Jeremy worked together on a few other projects as well. But we got involved and I read their project, and it reminded me a little bit of a TV episode of Tales from the Crypt called Television Terror with Morton Downey Jr., which if you research it on YouTube, I think you can watch it in full glorious 480p, 4.3. I know the kids are back into 4.3 now, so IMAX style, baby. Tales from the Crypt in low res. That's base. I don't know. Is that 11 to 10? Is that? I don't know. I don't know anymore. I've grown too old. But needless to say, I loved that. I love the intensity of that episode, and I sort of took their script and added a little bit more of that intensity. And Tom is the main protagonist. It has a lot of great camera work in it. And I would love to make it now that I'm back here in Massachusetts. It's something that I'm actually very, very, very interested in producing here because it's based here. It's written to be shot here, so it's good to be home. So that's what that project is about. Sending again, what do you think Ghost Jason does when he's not killing? Oh, okay. What does he do? He, I don't know. I think Jason does a lot of things. I think he wanders a lot. I think he does a lot of sitting and contemplating and wandering. And he, in the wandering, sort of like maybe like he used to do as a child type thing, I think he spends a lot of time in memory, remembering the past, remembering his mom, all of that stuff. Hey, what's up, Cecil? Hey, everybody. It's horror short of the year award-winning director here, Cecil Laird's checking in from the Horror Show channel. Hey, Cecil, what's up, man? Yes, this is true, Joe. Ghost Jason be sad a lot. Ghost Jason is sad. He's contemplating his existence. That's what he's doing. What's Greg saying? Hey, Ben, have any plans to see the first Omen? I got you. Yes, I definitely want to see. I'm actually a huge Omen fan. I have not been to the theater. I want to see Civil War, Incarnate, and the Omen. Maybe I'll go in the same day when I have a day off, which is never. I think this might be Ronnie. Ronnie says that Jason's playing solitaire. He might. There's a Monopoly board still there, so maybe something. He's memorized every inch of Crystal Lake. He has. He knows the fastest way to the bathroom. That's for sure. Question from Mr. Bent Leg Backwards Man himself, Kangaroo Leg Jordan Harvey. Was it difficult setting the emotional tones for Ghost Jason, seeing how it's difficult to show emotion behind a mask as a character that doesn't speak? Yeah, I mean, I was worried about that, selling about the emotion, but I think once I started seeing some of the footage come back, I realized that, you can do a lot with your body. I mean, a lot of, acting from, way back when was done with masks and movement. I don't know if anybody was watching the Shogun series on FX, but they had a whole play that was done that, there's a little bit of acting, but everything was done in masks. You couldn't see expressions. Everything was done with body language and everything was acted out that way. So once you really learn how to control your body, you know how to like come up with different moods for your posture. That's really how it kind of works. And with Jason, it was about that fine balance, about making Jason vulnerable but not weak, and that was a very hard balance to sort of kind of capture. I got you. What's my thoughts on the fan film Vengeance? I mean, honestly, just too many cooks in the kitchen. There were 3 people who were trying to direct that film at the same time, and you can tell. And that's sort of what his biggest issue is. I think that when I worked on the project early on, Jeremy sort of had this vision of what he wanted, and then somewhere along the way, other people got involved, and it just became sort of a big mess, and other things I won't go into. But again, like, you compare anything made after Never Hike Alone to anything made before Never Hike Alone, and I would say that overall, fan films, rate from watchable to awesome. And some of them may, depending on people's taste, not be, but it's all whatever floats your boat, right, dude? I know I'm getting good at this. I'm starting to settle and starting to slow down and relax and just enjoy the moment. Jason sitting around wondering if they made him afraid, wondering why they made him afraid of water in Freddy versus Jason. Yeah, it's the same thing, because sometimes he goes into the water. Literally, that's one of his hiding spots. I apologize for asking a lot of questions about your future moves with Tom Matthews. I'm just curious. No, you don't have to be. Don't apologize for anything. There's never any just a bad question. I just love the. I'm from the Northeast. This is just what we do to people. It's not a. It's actually a sign of camaraderie. Not I'm not trying to yell at you. A dude. Me and my friends were discussing about that. We think we could be very interested in discuss philosophy with Jason, as he thinks to contemplate about life and such. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of fun. I mean, honestly, like, put on a Jason costume, walk into the woods, and just start walking around and start realizing how ridiculous you look, and then start to figure out what have you done with your life, and then you can start to get into Jason's head. Goes Jason Waits, just like Kenny Curse. Don't they make custom Monopoly games? Would Friday the 13th be fun? Higgins Haven. Oh yeah. You know what? I think we should do a Kickstarter game and get sued by Horror Inc. I think that's what we should do. We should be the next. We should just come up with all these different things that Horror Inc. will sue us for, except making fan films for thousands of dollars. Nobody mentioned that. I would watch it. Oh, Pops, welcome to the chat. If you want to scroll back to about the first 2 minutes, I kind of went on a rant about that. But just to recap real quick, just feel really bad for those guys. And hopefully, things turn out for them, and we'll just make a Never Hike Alone game that Horror Inc. can't touch. So we'll just figure that out. The only other good fan film is Jason Rising. Jason Rising, even I know I worked on it, but the reason why I worked on it is because it really is my other favorite project that was a fan film. I thought His Name Was Jason was a great effort. I thought it actually had some really impressive stuff when it got going, some decent stuff. Here Comes the Night was another one I thought was a really impressive effort. Obviously, like a shout out to Cody Falk and Voorhees, because he was around sort of, there were a few that were around at the beginning. My other friend Tony Crespo had one going. I can't remember the name of it, but it looked so good. It was a very Part 5Z type vibe, and I thought it was going to be hilarious, but that never got made. A lot of fan films came and went, and I never have a problem with anybody's like ability as a filmmaker. The only thing I've ever had issue with is the way that other filmmakers have been treated, other people in the of community have been treated, and I've tried to be vocal about it, and I've always haven't been the best at it myself, but at least I'm able to take it on the chin when I deserve it. But a lot of people have gotten away with a lot of different things behind the scenes, and it's really sort of been surprising that people get mad at me for just speaking up, and they let things like extortion and bullying and all that stuff kind of slide to the wayside. But that's just how some things work. Our Sweet in 16 was good, but not great. 9 minutes made less than 2K. Hey, if you got 2K, make what you can. No more Johnny's, J's, and Jimmy's. Hey, I think I'd have fun hanging out with everybody. I know a few people. I would say that those are all very great entries. Yes, Allie. Go on naked. Oh, yeah, you would. You would. This is a little bit different, Mike. I can't do the same thing that I want to do with it. I aimlessly walk around as Jason in the woods more often than I should. Yeah, it's fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. I used to freak people out. Oh my God, I have this perfect story for Kane Hodder that I don't think will ever be able to get made. It's called Bachelor Weekend. It's Friday the 13th Bachelor Weekend, and it's a short film based on a group of friends going on a bachelor weekend for their best friend. It is the bachelor, his best friend, the best man, the other, groomsmen, and then the brother-in-law, the future brother-in-law. And they are going off, and they need to find a camping spot for the weekend. And it just so happens that the best man dropped the ball. He didn't book a cabin in time. So the luxury cabin that he promised everybody got booked out. And he was searching through camping site. And finally, someone tipped him off to say, there's an abandoned camp out by the lake. If you go stay there, nobody will bother you. And it just so happens to be that camp is Camp Crystal Lake. And so they go to stay there for the night for this guy's bachelor party. And it is, it's a lot of fun. So maybe, this was actually a project that I wanted to do before I wanted to do Never Hike Alone. And in fact, it had an intro, and I'm trying. I had an intro song picked out that I never would have been able to afford. I don't know if it was Dokken, or I can't remember who it was, but it was The Day We'd Never See is the name of the song. So if someone would help me out, The Day We'd Never See, that was sort of the opening title of the thing. And it was them driving up in like a VW bus that I wanted to get. It was going to be really, really rad. But anyway, I wanted Kane Hodder to play Jason in that so bad, but Kane doesn't really want to do fan films. He was, and it was just, I never really got to that because Never Hike Alone, I was in the way, but that's definitely something that I would still love to address. And maybe that's something we do in animation. You know what I mean? Jason thinks axe or machete. Yes, that is pretty good. I do. Actually, you know what? I think Jason does sort of look at the weapons around camp. You know what I mean? Like, he's obviously practiced with the bow. He's practiced throwing the axe. I think there are times where just out of boredom, he does things that he would have done at camp, and that is messing around with the stuff in the tool shed. We are also discussing would hunt or something. I think Jason's more of a vegan. Jason doesn't eat. He has nothing to eat. He's dead. He's dead. When he eats, he pukes. Yeah, I saw Jeremy's poster yesterday. I think he forgot he was a dick too. So yeah, I mean, everybody sort of kind of goes their own way with it. Vinny, I got to go. Love you, buddy. Ronnie and I are interviewing Dan Schneider. Guys, after you're done with the podcast tonight, definitely go over and check out All the good names are taken. Podcast with Blake and Ronnie. Looks like they're interviewing Dan Schneider, the guy from Nickelodeon. Guys, I hope you guys cover up because he's going to be real creepy. Listen to the Joe guy. See you in a bit, Blake. Headless Pamela and Jason Rising was creepy and loved it. That is true. That is true. Winger. Allie did it. It was Winger. And I remember I picked Winger because I have a good friend who's like obsessed with Winger. He was a guitar player in my band way back when. Which, yes, I was in a band in college. It was called End It All. And we're on Metal Massacre 13 for Metal Blade Records. We're the last track, Echo of Cries. Check it out. It's a real thing. And we're also on Bandcamp somewhere, End It All. So anyway, there's your deep dive for you guys this week. Yeah, Dan Snyder is creepier than anything. Please hit the thumbs up. It does help the channel. Make sure you're liking, subscribing, all of those things. I don't say that enough, do I? I got to get used to this. I'm now a YouTube host. This is my only income. $20. No, I'm just kidding. I'm doing fine. This is actually really helping, guys. It actually helps fund stuff for the channel. It helps me raise stuff to get proper equipment. Just kind of squirreling it all away best I can. All right. We got one more drawing. We've already passed that mark. So we're going to share screen one more time. It's drawing time. Bing, bing. All right, Davey Deathray was the last one. We have one more name. We're going to go. Name, picker, ninja. Who will you pick? Dimension Digger. Man, you guys are trying to get me fired. Dimension Digger. Congratulations, man. You or woman. I don't know. This could be anyone. They, them. The Dimension Digger has nothing. So whatever you are, Dimension Digger, congratulations. You are our fifth entry. We're going to stop sharing that screen. I'm going to go back. I'm going to select the Dimension Digger. So there it is. Our winners tonight, ladies and gentlemen, Alexandre Tristan, Davey Deathray, Dimension Digger, Ian Abrel, and Jesse Flores. That is amazing. 5 people who are going to be added to our prop list. This is going to be great. That's cool, Allie. Winger does kick ass. Let me see. What is Jordan blabbering about here? I was just with Joe one time dressed as Jason on a pontoon boat was going by and they saw me and the whole boat was silent. It just makes me think of that scene in Hot Shots Part 2 where Martin Sheen and Charlie Sheen cross and they both look at each other and go, "Loved you in Wall Street," which is one of the best just written throwaway jokes at all time. Hot Shots, I think, might be one of the greatest movies of all time. I think my favorite joke is when the two, right at the beginning of the movie, when the guys are on the aircraft carrier and they walk into each other with the bombs and tap the tips. I was just, oh my God, it gets me every single time. So that will basically just about do it for tonight. So Davey, you're walking away with one of these. And then also Chuck. You got to remember that. So Chuck and Davey. Chuck, Davey, hit me up in our Twitter or whatever. Send me an email, wompstompfilms@gmail.com. Make sure I have that so I can make sure I can get these out to you. Since Chuck was first, you get choice, red or white. And then Davey, you get what's left. I hope you don't mind. Let's see. I got to go back to the live comments because they're coming in. Let's say, oh my God. Boosh. Thanks, Davey. Vincent, just want to say thank you for speaking out about Resurrection of Bach. Real shame about what happened. Yep, it is. It is definitely a super shame. And I feel bad. You know, anytime you do a lot of work like that and you just kiss it goodbye, that's a lot. Yeah, thanks everybody for stopping by the stream tonight. I'm not going to keep it going too long. I think we got to really balance out as far as, I just don't want to sit here and blabber on for no reason. If anybody has any last questions, I will answer any last questions before we go. But just remember, Dylan's New Nightmare, that Indiegogo is still closing up. So make sure you pre-order your Blu-rays for that. I saw some really cool stuff from Cecil over the last couple of weeks. For people who are back, you're going to get some really cool stuff. On David. Oh my God, that's so nasty, Joe. I'll get you. Yeah. So tune in next week. Actually, next week I will not be here. Next week is the New Bedford Film Festival. I will be at the New Bedford Film Festival working it. If you are in the New England area, I implore you, come to the New Bedford Film Festival, hang out, come watch some films. I would say more than anything, they have this thing filled to the gills with networking events and places to hang. There's lots of cool shops in downtown New Bedford. If you've not been to downtown New Bedford before, or if you have, fair. Okay, I know what you're saying, fair, but give it a shot because there's a lot of new places down there. Play Arcade, Kojo's Total World, no problemo. We got that whole scene down there. The Rose Garden, Cork. We're going to be down at Ground Floor Coffee, which is down in the marina. That's going to be one of the hosting sites. Can you believe it? It's a four-story corporate building. We're going to have the top floor and the coffee shop. So we're going to have a coffee shop. We're going to be at Groundwork down the street doing screenings. There's going to be panels. There's going to be networking events. There's going to be screenings. Never Hike Alone is playing on Saturday. Never Hike Alone 2. Definitely come out. The award show, I believe, is Saturday night or Sunday night. Double check the website for that. But yeah, that's where I'll be next week. And then the week after, then we'll be back on the Ghost Files. I'll try to come up with something fun. Maybe I'll find a guest. Maybe we'll make it up as we go, but that's what we do here on the Ghost Files. And as my good friend said, I'll see you all in hell. No, everybody have a great weekend. Stay safe. Hug your loved ones. Oh, actually, I'm an idiot. You know why? Because your good friend Vinny became an uncle this week. Yes, I'm now officially an uncle. Congratulations to my brother Nick and his beautiful wife Morgan. They had their first child on April, I believe, 7th. His name is Luca Honorato. So congratulations. Welcome to the world, Luca. We'll try to leave it better than we left it, than we found it. But congratulations to them. I'm very proud to be an uncle. Very looking forward to seeing them in a few weeks. So, yeah, so lots of good news here on the wompstompfilms front this week. But, we'll be here in a couple of weeks. Until then, stay safe. And as always, never hike alone. And I will see you